This is the G Podcast with your host, Tonya B.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 274. This is the G Podcast. Yes. What's up, y'all? We're your weekly news recap podcast. We do news, politics, pop culture, and that piping out tea from the one and only Tonya B. She is here. Undisclosed location. On the road. Appreciate you for making it, Tonya B. You all right? You doing all right?
In there. Trying to get myself fit again.
You in the U.S.? Did you stay in the States?
I plead the fifth.
All right. Okay, all right. And he is in the building doing his Kojak. Got the sucker.
Kelly, baby. You know it's Kelly.
The one and only Talib Shabazz in the building. What's up, Talib?
All right.
Welcome back, Talib.
Yes, power to the people, baby. Power to the people.
Good to have you back, man. I told we were gonna send a posse out.
I know it. It's just me. I'm back, baby. I'm back.
That's all you gotta say. Hey, go enough. Yeah. No detail. Hey, and he is back. Hair pulled back. His locks. He got out of the ugly phase. Which he is back. The CC, we love you, CC. You are back. Country commentator vibes in the building. What's up, man? How you doing, bro?
Glad to be back. Feeling good.
Good to have you back. Yeah, y'all, man. So much happening this week. First of all, how was the 4th? Did y'all do anything?
Oh yeah.
I ate.
Ate good.
You ate.
Shot a lot of fireworks.
Fireworks. Okay. What about you? Were you on the road, Tonya B? Traveling?
No, I was stationary, but I just ate and I ate and I ate.
Well, go ahead.
I finished my race. I went to sleep.
Oh, okay, cool. The itis. The itis. One of my favorite Boondocks episode.
Oh man, that was dope.
Yeah. Hey, let's go ahead and do news with Syracuse Mike, and we'll come back. We've got a lot to talk about on the other side. Here we go.
News team, assemble!
It's time for the Week in News with Syracuse Mike.
The death toll from devastating flash floods in central Texas climbed past 100 Monday, with Kerr County alone accounting for at least 84 of those fatalities. As rescue efforts continue, questions are mounting concerning the National Weather Service. Did they give adequate warning? Some critics have pointed to recent staffing cuts at the agency, suggesting they may have impacted the response. In a statement Monday, NWS defended its forecasting and coordination with emergency crews, saying it acted swiftly as the crisis unfolded. And the White House also reacted.
Despite unprecedented rainfall, the National Weather Service executed timely and precise forecasts and warnings.
That's Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
Blaming President Trump for these floods is a depraved lie.
President Trump is losing ground with black voters, despite making historic gains in last year's election. Recent polling showed over 70% of black voters now disapprove of his job performance, one of his weakest showings since returning to office. Trump won about 15% of the black vote in November, double his 2020 numbers, but the latest trends could spell deep trouble for him and the GOP in upcoming elections. In Texas, the death toll from the catastrophic flooding remains at least 120, 96 of them in Kerr County, including 36 children. Torrential rain sent the Guadalupe River surging through homes and camps. Rescue teams are still searching for more than 160 people, but officials say no one has been found alive since the day of the flood. John Lamb is with the Kerrville PD.
It is a methodical search which ensures that every area in an area to be searched is covered and searched and that no stone is left unturned.
Hey, but real quick, I don't want to go into too much detail right now on everything else that's going on. You got President Taco and playing the tariff game, the back and forth with the executive orders, and then you got, all the foreign wars. We're not going to get into that. What I really want to talk about, we took off last weekend. I want to talk about the Essencefest. And I'm glad you're here, Tonya B. And would y'all do a quick, mute yourselves for just a minute. I want to figure out I think we got a little bit of background noise going on. Okay. Somebody, now come on back. Here we go. All right. Here's the thing, Essencefest. I want to get your thoughts. Tonya B, I'll start with you. And Ebony dropped Ebony Magazine, it's been a week.
Yeah.
Of course, we tape on Saturday. It's been about a week since the Essencefest happened. Afterwards, you had a letter to the public, or an open letter from Stephanie Mills, talking about her challenges. You had Lauryn Hill with her challenges. Tonya B, can you give us some more specifics?
Well, I would say,
talk about how this thing
let me
went.
say this. I don't know. I think y'all got the pictures I sent you, where Friday night at Bourbon and Canal, it looked like a bowling alley. That should tell you something. A lot of what Stephanie Mills said was true, and I applaud her for being the one to speak out. Not just the production challenges. When you have a show that has 10 acts at one night, you have got to start on time. It's like going to the doctor and one person's late and it throws the entire schedule off for the rest of the day. You've got 10 acts. Lauryn Hill, even if Lauryn Hill was late, she actually showed up on time. But being in that Superdome until 3:00 in the morning, when they really didn't have the finances to pull it off like that, just made it that much worse. The other thing I say is Essence was always celebrating Black women. And now there are some Black women, there's a group of them that went from 21 down to 0 that said they have fallen out of love with Essence. You also,
Yeah, well,
so you
go
also have
ahead.
the element, we can't forget this. Yes, it is about Black women and, culture and celebrating the culture of New Orleans, but it's always been an issue. And it really kind of came to a head the last couple of years, where local businesses were basically shut out of benefiting, to the point where some of them actually shut down during Essence Festival because it didn't make sense to be open. So, you can't go into a city with a culture like New Orleans and ignore the locals. When you have more than 300 vendors that pull out in 1 year, taking that money from Target was not the only thing that hurt them. They also lost a flagship sponsor in Ford. And with Ford, you get Sirius XM. So you didn't have that presence either. And I know they were blaming some woman who was actually on leave. I'm not going to say her name because it's not important. Not that it's not important, but
Yeah, I'll go into it from the Ebony.
And the other
part.
thing is, you got to look at all the acts that they keep recycling are the acts that have talent. You get these new kids that come up now, they don't know how to perform, they don't know how to hold a mic, and they just don't have that presence. So, with the exception of the few highlights that were there, was they call it the ladies of Philly, when you had Jasmine Sullivan, Jill Scott, and Miss Patti LaBelle. You had Maxwell, you had Babyface, but these are also artists who are always currently on tour. So if you've seen them in your hometown already, why would you spend all that money going to Essence, where the average decent ticket ended up being over $300 for one person per night? The whole thing with the Super Lounge, they got that wrong from the jump. Because when I went there 1 year, I spent more time in the Super Lounge than I spent, looking at the main stage. And to make that be another VIP upcharge premium, you also got to look at the state of the economy too. So I think, what's his name? Marshallou Dennis, the man that owns it. I don't know. He claims that they did it this year based on data. I don't know what data he was talking about. But, you cannot ignore Black women, which is supposed to be what this is about. And you really cannot ignore New Orleans. And I think that they really have a lot of spin doctoring to do, to the point where they may have to look at another city. Because also, let me also point out that they used to have lock on every hotel room in New Orleans. You couldn't book a hotel room without going through Essence unless you knew somebody. Also, the city of New Orleans cut them by $2 million. So I just think, was taking that money from Target worth it? When I saw the videos and they went from their normal red logo to something soft, girly, and pink, which didn't help. I saw more people walking past their display than I saw people engaged in it. So they have a lot that they got to fix, and they're going to have to also regain the trust of the people. But again, this year, if I've seen Patti and I've seen Babyface and I've seen Maxwell, and they've all been to Atlanta, why am I going to spend another $5,000 to go there, sweat like a $2 workhorse, and overpay for things? It just, make it make sense.
Yeah, I got you. I want to jump in
I got to tell you
add. Wait a minute. Let me jump in and add, and you can come back. Okay. Ebony did an article, which I was glad that Ebony did kind of a follow up, because if you watch social media, if you've seen social media, it's been targeted that the African Caribbean culture versus Black culture. And I think that's a simplistic way to look at the problems that this event has. I think that's very simplistic, and to a certain extent, it's opportunistic for some people. But I do want to say this. Attendees reported being sidelined as the festival shifted from the historic focus on Black American culture toward Pan-African international Black perspective. That was one thing that Ebony pointed out. The other thing that there was, if you're familiar with the term xenophobic backlash, in terms of, the whole quote, America first, vocal critics on social media accused Africans of co-opting the event, with one entrepreneur saying, Africans don't set the culture for this world, we do. It just points to some deep fissures, cuts within the communities. And some people refer to it as diaspora divisions. The next thing was leadership, and you mentioned it, Tonya B. Some attributed this shift to Essence's CEO, Carolyn Wanga. She's her roots are in Kenya, and the owner, you said Richard Dennis, alleging cultural deprioritization. So they deprioritized what it had always been about, and you mentioned it again, that Wanga was on leave. I want to go to you, Talib, now come to you, Vi, in a minute. Talib, your thoughts, man, because you've studied some of this and dealt with some of this. I look at you as, you're kind of the cultural, I won't say guru on the show, but you understand some of what this is saying, to Black communities. Go ahead.
I think that, everybody, there's a lot of people that are talking about the Essencefest this year from the standpoint of Black American or foundational Black, African American versus, the African or the Caribbean, influence that Essencefest seemed to have for some of the performers, I guess. I can say that, this is something that's been going on. You know what I'm saying? African folk come over here and tell their people, oh, don't mess with none of the Black boys, don't mess with Black people. You know what I mean? So it's been happening one way for years. Same thing in the Caribbean. I know I lived in New York. I know Haitian mothers, I know some, Grenadian mothers, some Belize mothers, definitely did not want to see their daughters messing with no Black American man. So it speaks to a divide that's always kind of been there, but I don't think it's really been an issue from the American towards the others before. But, you got to think about the influence that, Afrobeat has had on the music scene for the last, 3 to 5 years. Okay. You got to think about all the other musical styles, reggae, has been, a big part of America, the dance scene for a long time. So, I don't understand why we keep allowing ourselves to get caught up in these arguments, especially considering that man of questionable whatever. I can't really say what I want to say, but this guy who's complaining, who's making the big deal about Essence Festival being so African and this, that, and the other. I'm like, weren't you just Blacks for Trump? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, why is anybody taking this fact seriously? I'm sorry I said it, but you know what I mean? It's like, yo, man, you're straight clowning on issues that have nothing to do with nothing. You know what I mean? So if you want to make a bigger deal about it, you can. But the real of it is that Essence had poor production.
Yes.
It's a 31-year-old festival without doing anything different. You know what I mean? It's been running the same program for the last 31 years. Of course, people are going to get bored with it. We've got 2 whole new generations of people that now can go to Essence Festival. You know what I mean? So what are y'all talking about? Do something else. If you don't like what, it's a lot of things that went wrong, and I think that we are constantly being having to look in the wrong places for these answers and for these arguments when it's simple. You know what I mean? You got to change with the times. If you really want to be what Essence Festival was, then you got to do something different. You got to offer us something else. But giving us the same tired meal and thinking that we're going to just be excited about eating it is stupid, especially when your production has gone down.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you there, Vi. Thoughts?
Well, I've never been to Essence. I've always wanted to go to Essence. I was kind of surprised at the complaints and the lack of enthusiasm I saw this year. And for what I'm saying, if we did go Pan American, I would have a problem with that though. I mean, because this should be more. I mean, there should be a spot for Pan American, but it should mostly be about Black American, the experience in Black America. Yeah. And I think we need to stop decentralizing that. Cause we pander toward what Trump wants. No, this is one event that we should not care what the white people say about, cause it's about Black people, Black excellence. Now, that's all it should be about, Black excellence. We're not hearing this stuff y'all talking about. Y'all, this is our event. Y'all not even invited. You want to come, but you're not even invited. So yeah,
it's the us. Y'all is us now. See,
no, I'm talking about us. I'm talking about. I'm not even talking about the pandemic. I'm talking about white people. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you're not even invited. If you want to come, you can, but you're not even invited. So it's all about.
Go ahead, Vi. Go ahead.
I mean, because I've never been to Essencefest. All I've done is read about it and watch stuff on, but I've never been to one. But so I don't know what the big deal is. If it's about production, I get that. But I just don't change the meaning what it's all about. And
I think the word you want to talk or speak to is deprioritization.
Correct.
Whereas the priority has always been Black.
Right.
And now when you deprioritizing it, you make it more about the diaspora, the global.
Right. Yeah. And it's not about the global. It's not about that, and it should never be.
And it was never. It's not about white, but you're talking about Caribbean, African. But let me. I want to say something. I'm coming back to you, Tonya B.
But I'm saying Caribbean, African should be a part of it.
It should be a part of it. Definitely should be a part of it.
It should be a part of it.
And I agree. It should be a part of it. But you can't deprioritize what made it successful.
Correct.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly, Talib. In terms of it's a 31-year event that needs to, how do you say it? It's time to reinvent yourself.
Right. Right.
It's time to evolve. But I want to say something, and I'm gonna come back to you, Tonya B. I know you had some thoughts, and I've done events or been a part of events like women's targeted, sisters only, sister, those kind of things, and sponsorship money is everything.
Yeah.
When you lose that sponsorship money, let me tell you, you might have the luxury of doing special suites and all that, but when that sponsorship money goes away, it's survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate right now because when you got, I guess I'm assuming, Tonya B, correct me if I'm wrong, new ownership comes in, or you've got new people taking over. They're taking over at a time when the event's on the decline, where it really is a time where you have to really go back and study, where does this thing need to go? Right. Now, you can't go back to New Orleans and not do it the way it's always been in New Orleans. I agree with you wholeheartedly. So I do think one of the things that they're going to have to do, and I'm just going to give some solutions, and I'm going to come back if you guys have some other things to say. They're going to have to humble themselves right now and just say, look, we don't know. We don't have the answers right now, but what they need to do is go back to the community. They need to set up some community, focus groups, and really bring people in who know this event, who've been involved in this event, these small vendors who have been loyal to this event, and really find out what their problems were. Because I saw the table where you had jambalaya and gumbo versus, what's the Nigerian jollof? I mean, come on, you just antagonize. You just want to, why even antagonize the situation? Make it worse, You don't do stuff like that. So I think they need to, within the community of people who have been loyal to this event, You know they got a database. Vi, I'm pretty sure your girl has gone to Essence.
Oh yeah, she's been a couple times.
Yeah, she's been a couple. Tonya B, you've been to Essence.
I used to work the festival, so yes.
Yeah. So all the people who've been loyal, who've gone, they need to start talking to these people and really say, hey, what's going on? Because they're going to have to find a path forward. The other thing, you're absolutely right. Look, Talib, you and I come from the tech world, kind of. Right. I mean, we've seen live sound. Live sound is everything. Yeah. And I almost, how can I say it? I empathize and sympathize so much with what Stephanie Mills is saying.
Yeah.
It kills your morale. It kills the morale of a performer when there are sound issues. You've all been to concerts and quite frankly, too many concerts where the sound is bad.
Right.
There are too many out there. So you got to fix the technical. But you know what? The technical side, Talib, you work in the business. It takes money.
You cannot cut corners with that. You can't.
No, you can't. You can't go cheap on the sound.
Not at all.
They went Fisher Price this year, and you see.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what hurt. That's what hurt more than anything, is because, again, doing something for 31 years from a technical standpoint, from a production and standpoint, you know what I mean? That should be a well-oiled machine.
It should be. Yeah.
So when it's not, it's like, it's even more, it's disheartening. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The other thing I want to say, and again, I'm coming back to y'all, sponsorship money, again, sponsors in this environment right now don't, how do you say it? They don't care about you. Whereas before we criticized Jesse, you know, I don't want to say Al Sharpton, I'll say Jesse Jackson, and no criticism towards Susan Taylor, because she did a phenomenal job as head of Essence and going out and being the face and getting the money. But if you can't appreciate what they did, those folks did, some folks say shakedown, but to get money for these types of events, you have to appreciate the work they put in to get the Toyotas and the Fords and I guess I'll say the Targets, because they were artists. They were professionals. How do you say it? They were at the top of their game in terms of going into these companies and getting them to go black, to spend money on black people. Yeah. And right now, I'm telling you, the climate that we're in with this new administration, these companies can look the other way. They don't. Yeah. I mean, it's a climate in which, unless we boycott them, and put the hurt on them, they don't care about spending money and putting money into these festivals the way they used to. So that whole vibe has changed. You got to find, how do you say, who moved my cheese? The cheese is moved.
Yes. Yeah.
So on the sponsorship, you got to go in a whole nother direction. So, and I will say this finally, my last thing, and on the cultural thing, and I'd love y'all's thoughts, and a lot of folks aren't going to agree with me on this. I think Obama has to get involved when it comes down to the conversation. I mean, look, who's the most loved African descendant in America right now? It's Obama. I mean, he's not born. He wasn't born. Okay, I'm not going birtherism on you, but I'm just saying his father's a Kenyan. You know, his mother's white. He is probably the most beloved. Last poll I saw from black people, he's the guy. Wow. Get him to step in and say, look, stop this shit. This is the wrong time to be doing this. It's the wrong time to be having this kind of conversation, y'all.
Right.
He's the guy. Maybe him and Michelle need to do a global town hall and the people would tune in online and let's say, look, because let me tell you, it's a bad time.
Michelle says she ain't doing nothing.
Well, maybe just him.
It had to be him because she said she ain't doing. Michelle said, look, if it don't benefit her, she ain't got nothing to do with it right now.
But let me tell you, look, I'm an entrepreneur. It's a bad time for the family to be breaking up, be split. It's a bad time.
Right.
Because let me tell you, when it comes down to Africa, Trump showed y'all this week. He don't know nothing about Africa. He don't know about Africa.
Don't know
You don't care
nothing.
about the Caribbean? I'm
No.
gonna go to you, Tonya B. Go ahead. I know you've been waiting. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all being patient. I just had
Yeah,
to say that.
it's really
Go ahead.
jacked up that, and let's take it back to 2023. Just to give you a little bit of education. Did you know that Essence was actually sending out cease and desist orders to some of the local Black businesses in New Orleans, claiming that they were not in what they call the festival clean zone? It's like, you don't come into my city and tell me I got to get your permission, you outsiders, to do any events. And see, a lot of people started doing events away from Essence because they were more cost effective. Promoters would book years in advance and they would do things. And that doesn't help the Black business owners. So they also got to mend, like you said, be humble. And they've got to mend fences with the Black business owners, especially the small Black business owners in New Orleans. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is, when you lose over 300 vendors, and part of the reason why that happened, and that was less than smart. Again, I don't know where they got this data from behind that proposition.
Yeah.
But when you lose,
No, show me the data, because I'm a data person. Show me the data.
Anyway. So when you also, that's a lot of money to lose, but they tried to control everything about it, and they made those vendor agreements so restrictive, people just said, forget it, because they couldn't make any money. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you have that going on, and let me just say one more thing about Michelou Dennis. I'm not really a fan of this man, and here is why. Remember this: when he and his wife first rolled up there and took over Essence, there were a plethora of HR complaints about this man and how he treated women, how he was inappropriate. And it was just like somebody else flexing their power. Women that had jobs and that had been there for a very long time couldn't go to HR because his wife ran the HR department. So when he's talking about celebrating Black women, he can go kick rocks as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. All right.
Know about
To wrap it up, I just have to say, either you make a decision to keep going and do the research and do the work in advance, which means you have to talk. You can't say we know it all. We don't have to talk to the people. Right now, you got to talk to the people. But on the other hand, I will say this: the divisiveness doesn't help us.
Yeah.
Because you name an event right now. Is there a Black event that is superseding every other event in the country right now? Can you think of one that's not a mainstream event?
No.
Can you
And I'm
think
gonna
of
tell
one?
you why.
No, you said no.
And here's why. And Essence may need to do this too. Yes, it's always been 3 days of alleged Black culture. You may have to go back to the drawing board because everything started from somewhere. They may have to take it back to 2 days. But if that's what it takes to get it right, that's what they need to do. And they're so focused on sticking up people and shaking down people for money. You see, it did not work. And like I said, and see, when you said new people, they had new people that took over the talent aspect of it. And a lot of times, I know about maybe 4 years ago, they had new people doing everything, the talent, the sound, the whole 9 yards. And so they have cut corners in all of the wrong places.
Well, I'm going to say this to you, Tonya B, because you're a music person. Talib, you're a music person as well. Vi, you enjoy music. When it comes down to it, it is a cultural and a generational divide when it comes down to how Essence was successful, to how it will continue. All right. You have to understand the hip hop culture is tremendous right now. It's what sells. In a lot of cases, the old school stuff, the R&B does well, but it doesn't do the kind of crowd that it used to back in the day. Okay, that's a reality. What's that?
Essence took a big hit financially with hip hop. They didn't, although like you said, it's global and it is what it is.
No, I'm not saying that's where it needs to completely go. I'm just saying
it didn't work.
You got to figure out where to go.
Well, don't go with Black Eyed Peas even though they broke up, because they're not the answer either.
Well, what is the answer? Musically, what? And I'll start. Just be targeted. You can mention artists. Where do you think they go?
The one night I went on the same stage, I think it was Lionel Richie, Kim, and the Black Eyed. I mean, that Fergie was out there doing cartwheels across the stage, and people did.
When was this?
And this was a while ago. And this was when allegedly the Black Eyed Peas were allegedly hot at the top of their game. And baby, you could have went bowling on that stage. People were like,
Yeah.
you know. So again, they got to, you got to look at the right talent, but it's hard. They keep recycling the Patti LaBelle's and the Maxwell's and this, that, and the third, because like I said, these new kids don't know how to entertain. And like I said,
Well, I don't want to throw a blanket. I'll just say they haven't found the right formula for that event.
You want good sound, you got to pay for it. If you want that level, that caliber of talent, you've got to pay for it. But the way that you pay for it is not selling somebody. You got to pay $350 per ticket to get in here. Then you got to pay another $100 or $150 to get in the super lounge. If you somebody, just think about the money that it now costs. And people are losing their jobs. So going to Essence for the weekend and spending $4,000 or $5,000. People will forego that if they got to pay a mortgage and they haven't gotten an unemployment check yet. No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Okay. Entertainment is a big part to lead. Who do you think they need? Where do they need to go? What direction?
I think I really think that they just need to revamp the entire Essence Festival. Figure something else out.
So what do you mean?
If they went, if I don't know,
less entertainment.
I would either do entertainment or I would do information, but I don't think I'd really try to combine all of that stuff this time. Entertainment wise, I'd probably do just a music festival.
Okay. Like Coachella?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Last word, you, Vi.
I don't have to, like I said, I've never been to one, so I have to go by everything y'all say. I've only read about it.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, love your thoughts. Again, I don't think it's productive for the family to squabble. And we are family, regardless of how a lot of people feel in this country. I hate to see it. I know that there's some problematic people on both sides who just talk shit. And really they talk shit they do, because it benefits them. It benefits their platform.
Just for clicks.
It's clickbait,
Right.
And I think it doesn't help us. I'm an entrepreneur. I believe, if you have to understand that eventually you got to have allies. I mean, it's from, if you've ever, even in the Panther Party, Bobby Seale, and a lot of the Panthers understood, ultimately what it came down to, you had to find the enemy of my enemy is my friend. That works. That's real. So, the squabbling and the stupidity and the clickbaits and the insults, it ain't gonna help us go forward. It's not. I'm gonna leave it at that. Tonya B, you ready for tea? You got some, or you want to go to break first?
Yeah, I got some. Yes, that's a good way to put it. I got some.
Okay, here we go.
Now then, children, it's time for tea.
It's tea time, y'all. Sipping the tea with Tonya B.
What some you got?
We can't get away from the Puffy headline, but I will say this. I did do some research and I watched part of this Dateline inside the Sean Puffy Combs situation. I don't know, it's called something. Anyway, it was on last night. And and one thing I'll say, it did put some faces with the voices or the names and the pseudonyms that we heard about. Just some firsthand accounts of what people who are now say they can speak out without fear because Puffy's not on the streets. But when you've got over 40 lawsuits and there are still lawsuits being filed as of this week. I mean, and again, this all started in the 90s, but what we really haven't seen just yet is all this stuff that the feds confiscated from that house. And I still think there are people like Mary J. Blige and Faith Evans, those bad boy artists. Lil' Kim hasn't said a word, but her face probably wouldn't be able to take it. But, Howard gave him back the $1 million he gave them. They revoked his honorary city of New York.
Oh, Tonya B's gone. Was it? I don't know what that was. Well, I think it may have been that one comment about.
I forgot the scoop.
Puffy shut it down.
He shut it down.
Oh yeah. All right. Appreciate you, Tonya B. But I do have to ask, and we'll see if she rejoins. But Talib, hip hop culture, does culture move on from this, or can it move on from this?
Of course it can. I mean, this is us we talking about. You know what I mean? we have survived stuff way more important than the Essencefest.
No, I mean Puffy.
Oh, Puffy, yeah, no. The culture can, but he's not.
He's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When the last time Puffy did anything?
Well, you're good point. I mean, he hasn't really had any hits.
Right.
When it comes down to it in a while. The last album, the Love album, was that it? It flopped.
And how long ago that was?
Probably within 5 years.
Yeah. It did not hurt hip hop.
No. So my whole point is, I guess individually, it's a wrap.
Yeah, I mean, there might still be some people that want to, spray body oil all over themselves at the courtroom steps. You know what I mean? And celebrate that he got off. I mean, but the thing is, I think we really need to examine what's happening with these so-called gatekeepers.
Okay.
Why do we allow them to have the power and control that they have?
Yeah. And gatekeepers specifically, who do you refer to when you say gatekeeper?
I'm saying somebody like a Puffy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who's in?
Okay, just hang on. So you think as Puffy as a gatekeeper, we need to take a closer look at the hip hop artists who gatekeep and basically are the kingmakers and the prince makers. What
I'm saying. Well, I mean that's not exactly where I was going with it, but
tell me what.
That is very valid. The thing is that we have to reassess the way that these celebrities influence our lives.
Okay.
And we have to realize that they are just people as well.
I got you. Hey, Tonya B, you're tight. We don't know the stability of your signal. So just get to your points and keep it short. Okay. But go ahead, because we want your input. Okay, just don't linger on anything too long.
We were talking about the Puffy. I'm so over that. I want to give you a new boot up alert, and this new boot up alert is it's Janet who likes to fix broken men. Is she booed up with Maxwell, who loves beautiful women, and they've been spotted in London holding hands. But it could be a stunt because we all know what we all know. Maxwell and Janet, they might be going on tour. Who knows? But Janet's going back.
Well, Janet did get the money from her ex-billionaire.
Yeah, right. And she had her own money thing, but she's going back to Vegas, though. You never know. That might be an interesting tour. And I don't know if you heard what I was saying, just sending out some love and light to MC Light, the hip-hop icon who lost her mother, who fought tooth and nail against cancer. And what's interesting is that this Hollywood Walk of Fame, it's gotten so easy to get in there now. As long as you got the money, you can get on. Because now for the class of 2026, you've got Shaquille O'Neal, Robin Marvis from Good Morning America, actor Keith David, who was in the Friday movies and on Greenleaf, as well as the legendary Clark sisters, and Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Wow.
That's an interesting mix. Would you agree?
I agree. It's the first of the month.
Wake up.
Get your checks and come on.
So isn't it true they said Maxwell and Alicia Keys got a song out together?
No, dude.
Some years ago, I said Maxwell and Janet Jackson was seen over in the UK, booed.
No, I heard y'all knew about that part. I thought it said he had just recently done a song together.
But you never know. I don't know. You might be right about that.
And you know what? I want to also say shout out to all of those creators of color who are not afraid to try new things. Debbie Allen is producing Joe Turner's Come Alive is coming to Broadway in the spring of 2026. And the stars of that Broadway production for the first time going to Broadway, Taraji P. Henson and Cedric the Entertainer.
Okay. Good stuff. You got anything else? If not, don't make it up. We're
I
good.
see you.
I know you got, because I'm just trying to make sure we hold on to
No,
you.
I know.
'Cause-
No, that's everything I got. There's the other stuff. There's some things that matter, like what I share with you, and some things that don't matter, like Jonathan Majors and Megan Good with their fitness app. Anybody care? Not me. If you want to know, look it up.
I got you. Hey, but I do want to mention, and I don't know if you mentioned it in the reporting before we lost you. Puffy was convicted on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, which is what they call the Mann Act violation for facilitating interstate travel for commercial sex acts. And that was involving Cassie Ventura and the quote unquote Jane. And he was acquitted of all the other charges, which Vi, you, myself, and Howard kind of felt we felt the same, that the racketeering and the conspiracy, the RICO, was a stretch. I think everybody felt that was a stretch. But 2 counts of sex trafficking by force was also dropped, fraud and coercion. So the sentencing is supposed to be October 3rd of this year. And just kind of go through, because I don't think we have the potential prison time. He faces up to 10 years per count. So we're talking total of possibly 20 years. The prosecutors are seeking 4 to 5 years, 51 to 63 months based on sentencing guidelines. The defense argues for 2 lesser equal years, which would be 21 to 27 months. So the prosecution 51 to 63 months, defense 21 to 27 months. That's what they're asking for. And credit for time served would be 10 months since he's been in, I guess, in September 2024. That will apply. And so, we'll see. I just want to move on, quite frankly.
Like, ready. Can we get a new headline?
Yeah. Can we move on?
Can we get a new headline? Please, somebody do something.
Yeah. Hey, y'all, let's appreciate you bearing with us this episode. I know Tonya B's on the road, so we're, we got the squirrels and the string, the thread holding her connection together, but she'll
burning
be
it up. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. Let's do it. Hey, y'all, we've all heard about what's going on in Texas, and honestly, hearts and prayers go out regardless of your politics or whatever's going on. This was heartbreaking to watch. And, you got family, or I heard just, a senator, one of our state senators, had a family member who was actually caught in this, lost a cousin. It's impacted a lot of people quickly. And I got to ask, just thoughts real quick, don't want to go too political, but just get what you're feeling and where this is headed. Is this kind of heading in Katrina zone to you right now? Does it feel that way? I mean, Katrina was much bigger in terms of size, but in terms of accountability, when it happened July 4th through 7th with the deadliest flash flooding occurring in the early hours on July 4th. He had search and rescue has been going on, as of July 12th and beyond. Happened in Kirk County, Texas, especially Hunt, Ingram, Kerrville along the Guadalupe River. A lot of the other counties impacted: Travis, Burnett, Kendall, Williamson, and Tom Green. And we're talking about catastrophic flash flooding, triggered torrential rainfall up to 20.5 0.3 inches in 3 hours. That is just ridiculous. The Guadalupe River surged 26 feet, 45 minutes. Highest recorded levels overwhelming camps and homes. And of course, the Camp Mystic was hardest hit. And I'm not sure where we are now in terms of deaths, but it's over 27. And a lot of people are missing. A lot of over 100 still missing. So, you know, a lot of folks are just blaming the cuts. The meteorologist cuts. They had asked for a lot of money in advance for improvements, which was denied. And that's why I say, is it going to be another Katrina? Vi, you were nodding. What are your thoughts? Is there going to be some heads rolling accountability wise?
No, because the people who should take accountability is not going to take accountability.
Yeah.
They're not going to admit wrong. They're not going to admit wrong, so no. And they're going to give them the money because it's Texas.
Yeah.
And we all know why. I mean, you're not going to prevent it. It was going to happen regardless, but it had to be so catastrophic.
Yeah.
The flood was going to happen, but not that many people had to die.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been, I think, it had to be that bad. If they had because they said the Texas governor, he turned down money because it came from a Biden agenda, Trump. And when you cut anything and you cut it so deep where they can't do their job, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. And they still don't believe in a climate change. So no, it's not gonna be a Katrina because no one's gonna take accountability. They're gonna keep saying this God did it, and I don't even know they're gonna be able to fix it because FEMA's not running properly right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, no.
Talib, thoughts?
It's a couple of things. This part of Texas is no stranger to a flash flood.
Right.
You know, I think that the problem really comes in how the system would normally prepare for something like this.
Yeah.
You know, we are well aware that the current administration has no empathy, and is definitely gutting the funds and the personnel that would be responsible for, you know, mobilizing in situations like this.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just, I don't think that we're going to be reaching Katrina type levels.
No, not in terms of bodies. Not in terms of unfortunately, I hate to throw that term around.
Yeah, no, but I know what you mean. You know what I mean? I just it's like
because frankly, and I'm not saying it's going to have impact on the presidency, but I just remember Katrina was like one of the nails in Bush's coffin.
Yeah, and it definitely, you would think it would be for the current administration as well.
Only because of response and impact.
Exactly, and that's what I'm really speaking to is in the response and how, you know, assistance would be administered. You know, in an administration where they gave a damn.
Yeah. Well, they've got time to respond. And in a lot of cases, of course, this is a red state.
Right.
And it is a red area. This is a red area. So, you know, and you've already got loyalists there on the ground. So I don't think it's going to come close to Katrina. I agree. I think you said that by as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what I do find interesting is that a lot of, I've seen quite a few posts on TikTok and on Instagram talking about how Mexicans from across the river came over to assist in the rescue efforts, you know, without being asked to, or by being paid for or anything like that. So, you know, it's I'm not 100% how accurate it is.
It's true.
You know, in the videos that I've been watching seem very realistic, you know, and it's amazing that, you know, despite what is happening, you know, with the administration, that, you know, people are still going, you know, are still looking at it like, I need to help other people.
Oh yeah, I mean the goodness of these countries still shines through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
think
And
will make a
that
bigger
speaks to
difference.
the heart.
Children, I think what really people gonna pay attention to it more because children die.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything involved killing children, it really gets folks to pay attention.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. All right, y'all, appreciate the comments. We'd love your thoughts. You can scan the QR code on the logo, social media, links are there. Again, the People poll is on that link as well. You can leave us voice messages. Love to hear from you on all the topics we talked about today. Make sure you follow us on Spotify. You can leave comments there as well. And, love to hear your thoughts. Let's wrap it up. I'll go to you, Talib, first. What you got?
I got nothing today. I just want to say what's up to everybody and thank y'all for listening to the podcast. We got some good stuff coming up. Velvet Underground, it should be pretty nice.
I'm gonna have to give him a script.
Yeah.
I'll help you with that in just a few.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, Vi. What you got?
Well, I'm not trying to make too much political about the Texas thing, but I'm gonna say this: do not let him. Hold him accountable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hold him accountable. Hold the government of Texas accountable. I feel sorry for the people. It's not a political thing, but we cannot let this sweep on the rug. Let him hold him accountable. Hold him accountable. Make him take ownership of it, that they messed up.
So true. Hey, I've got to say on today, man, something happened back in June, and the young man's being laid to rest today in Alabama, Jabari Peoples. He was shot by a Homewood police officer at a soccer park. The police claimed he resisted arrest, and they said he was grabbing a gun during a marijuana investigation, prompting the officer to fire. The family and an eyewitness, Peoples' girlfriend, disputed, stating he was unarmed and compliant and shot in the back. They have not and will not release the body cam, and the family's pushing to get the body cam released, yet they're saying while it's still an active investigation, they will not release it. And everybody says, look, we'll resolve this if it's what they're saying happened, release the body cam. That's what we pay for. But I will say, as we tape, young Jabari Peoples is being laid to rest today. Our hearts and prayers and tears go out as the legal battle, this struggle to get the body cam continues. Okay. The other thing I have to say, we are the Velvet. It's not Velvet Underground. But,
I know that's
that is a group. That's a group, though.
Mellow
that's
type sound. You know what I mean?
But there's we're adding a music component to Castropolis. It's called Velvet Frequency Radio Phase 1. Yeah, Velvet Frequency Radio. So you can, how do you say it? Float on the frequency of Velvet. Phase 1 is up now. If you want to check it out, you can get the 365 Live app. That's the best way to experience it. Search Velvet Frequency Radio and make it your favorite. Also, the link to listen to it, if you just want to listen to it from a link first before getting the app, it's on our social media page. You can get it there. Hey, y'all, appreciate it. Tonya B, I know Tonya B's on the road. She's moving around, and we'll have her on completely next week. But, man, got to say thank you, Talib Shabazz. Appreciate you, man.
Definitely.
Without a doubt, you the man. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks, brother.
Country commentator, Vi, thank you so much, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Whatever you're eating, I want some next time. Let me. I be sneaking peanuts and everything. You must be close to the kitchen. You tape in the kitchen.
Right next to the kitchen.
You can't tape in the kitchen, bro. I learned my lesson. 10 pounds later. All right, y'all. With that, episode 274 is in the can. Y'all have a great week. Peace and power to the people.
All right, people. Power to the people.
You've been listening to This is the G Podcast. This is the G Podcast is a production of the Castropolis Podcast Network. Thanks for listening.